You are sitting on the edge of the bed and the tears come before you can stop them. Maybe it's exhaustion. Maybe it's something someone said earlier. Maybe it's nothing you can name. And then you feel it, that small weight of attention from across the room. Your baby is watching you. They have stopped whatever they were doing and they are looking at your face with an intensity that feels almost too old for them. And in that second, almost every parent does the same thing. They turn away. They wipe the tears fast. They force a smile and say, "Mommy's okay, Daddy's okay." Because the last thing in the world you want is for your baby to see you fall apart. But here's what the science actually shows about that moment. The moment your baby sees you cry is not damaging them. The moment you hide it from them is doing something else entirely. And what their brain registers in those few seconds, the seconds where they study your face and read your tone and watch what you do next, is one of the most powerful pieces of emotional learning their developing nervous system will receive in the entire first year of life. Today I want to walk you through exactly what is happening inside your baby's brain when they see you cry, why your instinct to hide it is completely understandable but built on a misreading of what they need, and what the research from attachment psychology actually says about parents and tears and the small humans watching them. Because what you do in that moment is not just managing a feeling in front of your baby, you are writing one of the earliest scripts they will ever have for what it means to be a person with feelings in a world that contains other people. Welcome to the First Mind. If this is already making you see your baby differently, hit the like button and subscribe, it really helps. And drop a comment telling me how old your little one is right now. I love knowing who I'm talking to. Let's start with what is actually going on inside your baby's brain when they see your face change. Babies between 4 and 18 months are in what developmental psychologists call the social referencing window. This is the stage where their brain is doing something extraordinary. Every time they encounter something new or uncertain or emotionally charged, they look at you. Not for instruction, for information. They are reading your face the way an air traffic controller reads a radar screen. Eyebrows, mouth corners, the muscles around your eyes, the speed of your blinking, the tone of your voice. All of it is data about whether the world right now, in this moment, is safe. The neuroscience of this is documented in extensive infant brain imaging research. When a baby looks at a caregiver's face, the regions of their brain that process emotion, the amygdala and the insula, light up in patterns that mirror the emotional content of what they are seeing. They are not just observing your feelings, their nervous system is rehearsing them. And here is the part that matters most for the moment we are talking about. Babies in the second half of the first year develop what attachment researchers call emotional contagion sensitivity. They feel what you feel, not metaphorically, biologically. Your stress hormones rise, and the cortisol in your skin contact, and your milk and the air around them rises with it. Your heart rate quickens, and theirs follows. Your breath shortens, and they begin to breathe shallower too. This is co-regulation, and it is happening whether you intend it or not. So when you cry and your baby is in the room, something is already happening in their body before you have even decided what to do with your face. The question is not whether they will notice. They have already noticed. The question is what comes next. And this is where most loving, well-meaning parents do the thing that the science says actually creates the problem they are trying to prevent. They hide it. They turn away. They wipe the tears and put on a face that says everything is fine. And the words come out bright and a little too fast. Mommy's okay. Don't worry. Look, see, smile. The instinct behind this is pure love. You do not want your baby to feel scared. You do not want them to carry the weight of an adult emotion they cannot understand. You want their world to feel safe. So you scrub the evidence of your distress from your face and you offer them a different version of you, the one you think they need. But here is what their brain is actually receiving in that moment. The tears, the shift in your tone, the tightness in your shoulders, the wet eyes. All of it has already been logged. And then they watch you produce a face and a voice that does not match. And their nervous system, which is still learning what emotional information means, registers a mismatch. The face says one thing, the body said another. The voice has changed pitch. The signals do not line up. Researchers studying infant response to incongruent emotional cues have found something striking. Babies who are repeatedly exposed to caregivers whose external expression does not match their internal emotional state show measurably elevated baseline cortisol. Their stress regulation system stays on alert because the information they are receiving cannot be trusted. They cannot tell what is true. And when a baby cannot tell what is true about the most important person in their world, their developing nervous system makes a quiet, lasting adjustment. It learns to scan harder. It learns to doubt the surface. It learns that feelings are something to be hidden, not something to be shared. None of this means you have done something wrong. You were never told this. And every parent who has ever wiped away tears in front of a baby has done it for the most loving reason there is. The next part is what changes everything. What your baby actually needs when they see you cry is not a performance of okayness. It is something researchers in attachment science call emotional transparency with regulation. And the difference between those two things is the difference between a baby who grows up believing that hard feelings are shameful and a baby who grows up knowing that hard feelings are survivable. Here is the science. The work of Ed Tronick at Harvard, the same researcher behind the still face experiment, found that babies develop emotional competence not by being shielded from their caregiver's feelings, but by watching their caregiver move through feelings. The operative word is through. Tronick's research on what he called dyadic states of consciousness showed that when a caregiver experiences a negative emotion and the baby witnesses it and then witnesses the caregiver regulate and return to a calm, connected state, something specific is deposited in the baby's developing nervous system. A template, a lived demonstration of the fact that hard feelings have a beginning and a middle and an end, that they do not swallow you, that they can be felt and survived and moved through. This is the opposite of what hiding the feeling teaches. When you wipe the tears and force the smile, the baby does not learn that you are okay. Their body already knows you are not. What they learn is that when feelings arrive, the correct response is to make them disappear from your face as fast as possible. And that lesson, laid down in the implicit memory that does not require a mature hippocampus to form, shapes how they handle their own feelings for years. Because here is what your baby is building right now in the first and second year of life. They are building what psychologists call an internal working model of emotion, a nervous system level answer to the question, what do feelings mean, and what do people do with them? Every time they see you feel something and then watch what you do next, they are adding a data point to that model. When you cry and you let them see it and you stay present and your voice stays soft and you reach for them, or you simply breathe and let your face settle, you are showing them something no book can teach. You are showing them that a person can be sad and still be here, that feelings move, that love does not disappear when someone is having a hard moment, that staying in the room with a feeling is something a person can do. The research on long-term emotional outcomes consistently finds that children whose caregivers modeled emotional transparency in the early years show stronger emotional regulation by age 5, lower rates of anxiety in middle childhood, and greater capacity for empathy in adolescence. Not because they were protected from hard feelings, because they watched someone they loved feel them and stay. If you're finding this helpful, please subscribe and turn on notifications. I upload new videos every week and I'd hate for you to miss one. Your support is what makes this channel possible, and it genuinely means the world to me. So what does this actually look like in the moment? Because knowing the science is one thing, standing in your kitchen with tears on your face and a baby watching you from the floor is another. That is exactly where we are going next. Picture this. You are on the kitchen floor. Your baby is sitting 2 feet away from you, one of those days where the tiredness has moved past exhaustion into something that has no name. The tears come, and before you can turn away, your baby goes still. They drop whatever was in their hands. They look at your face with that particular quality of attention that only babies have, total, unblinking, ancient. And you have two choices in that moment. You can turn away and manufacture the smile, or you can stay. Staying does not mean collapsing into them. It does not mean making your baby responsible for your feelings or pulling them into an adult weight they cannot carry. Staying means letting your face be honest for a few seconds while your voice stays soft. It means saying, out loud, in simple words, Mommy is feeling sad right now. Mommy is okay. I am right here with you. That sentence is doing 4 things simultaneously. It is naming the emotion which activates the prefrontal cortex in your baby's developing brain and begins building the neural pathways for emotional labeling. It is separating the feeling from the outcome, teaching their nervous system that sad does not mean unsafe. It is keeping the relationship present. Their most fundamental need is contact and continuity, and your voice saying I am right here delivers both. And it is modeling the single most important emotional skill a human being ever learns, that you can feel something hard and stay in the room with the people you love. Research from the Center on the Developing Child at Harvard shows that language around emotion, even language spoken to babies who do not yet understand words semantically, shapes the neural architecture of emotional regulation. The tone carries the content before the words do. A calm voice naming a hard feeling teaches the nervous system that hard feelings have names, which means they have edges, which means they are not infinite and overwhelming, they are just feelings. This is what you are teaching when you stay. Now here are the specific things babies do when they see a parent cry, and what each one tells you about what is happening inside them. When your baby stills completely and stares, their brain has detected an emotional signal that does not match the baseline. The amygdala has flagged something important. They are not scared yet. They are gathering data. This is your window. Your voice, soft and steady, is the most powerful piece of information you can give them in that 3-second window. When your baby reaches toward your face, which happens most often between 6 and 12 months, they are doing something that developmental researchers consider one of the most sophisticated social behaviors in the infant repertoire. They are attempting to repair the connection. Their brain has registered a disruption in attunement, and they are reaching, literally and neurologically, to close the gap. Let them touch your face. That contact is completing a circuit in both of your nervous systems. When your baby starts to cry along with you, parents often read this as evidence that they have damaged something. The science reads it differently. Babies who cry in response to a caregiver's distress are demonstrating what researchers call affective resonance, an early form of empathy that is considered a healthy developmental marker, not a sign of trauma. The nervous system is doing exactly what it is supposed to do. It is feeling with you. What matters is what comes next. When you regulate, when your breathing slows and your voice comes back soft and present, their nervous system follows. That is co-regulation. That is the whole thing. When your baby looks away briefly and then looks back, this is not rejection. Developmental psychologists call it gaze aversion as self-regulation. Your baby's nervous system is managing the intensity of the emotional input by briefly reducing stimulation and then returning. It is a sign that they are learning, already at 6 or 8 or 10 months old, to regulate their own arousal. Follow their lead. When they look back, be there with a face that is settling. When your baby crawls to you and presses against your body, they are doing something so old it predates language by millions of years. They are seeking proximity to their safe haven. John Bowlby spent decades documenting this exact behavior. Under stress, the attachment system activates and the baby moves toward the person they are attached to. They are not trying to fix you. They are not burdened by you. They are doing the only thing their biology knows to do when the world feels uncertain. They are coming home. Let them. And when you hold them in that moment, when your arms go around them and your breathing slows because they are there, something happens that the research on physiological co-regulation has documented with remarkable precision. Their cortisol drops. Their heart rate settles. Their nervous system borrows your calm the way it borrows warmth when you hold them skin to skin. You regulate each other. That is not a poetic idea. That is the biology of attachment working exactly as it was designed to. The long view on all of this is something worth sitting with. The child who watches a parent cry and watches that parent stay present and soft and honest is building something that will show up decades from now in ways you will never be able to trace back to this moment. They are building the capacity to sit with a friend who is falling apart without needing to fix it, the willingness to stay in a hard conversation with a partner instead of shutting down, the ability to cry in front of someone they love without shame. The knowledge, held not in words but in the body, that feelings are not emergencies, they are information, and the people who love you can hold them with you. You do not have to be a parent who never cries. You do not have to be a parent who always has the right words or the perfectly regulated face or the textbook response. Tronic's own research found that even the most attuned parents are in genuine synchrony with their babies only about 30% of the time. 30%. The other 70% is rupture and repair, misread signals and returns, hard moments followed by soft ones. That is not failure. That is the actual texture of attachment. What your baby needs is not a parent without feelings. They need a parent who shows them what it looks like to have feelings and remain, to cry and not disappear, to be sad and still say, I am right here. That is the thing they will carry, not the tears, not the hard day, the staying. Thank you so much for being here until the very end. It means everything. If this video changed how you see your baby even a little, please share it with another parent who needs to hear it. Check out the videos on your screen now. I think you'll love them. And subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you in the next one.